Hi, welcome to Fiberchats. My name is Irina. I'm the host here. And my guest today is someone you guys requested I interview, and I was trying to get for a while now, Yumiko Alexander. So we actually met, and I don't even know if you remember that we met in New York at Vogue Knitting Live. I saw your booth and I was like, oh my God, you have the beautiful kits, you have yarn, you have your lovely designs. And the thing I love about your designs, it's like it really looks good on everybody. So you and I, we are the same height, but with very different body style. But we were wearing the same sweater. Like, so that sweater looked great on me, and it's also looked incredible on you. And I like that about your designs.
Thank you.
We go into the, how brilliant of a designer you are today. Tell me a little bit your background story. You were born in Japan. How did you learn how to knit and crochet?
Actually, school teach how to knit in Japan, and I was always like the working hand, and knitting was one of them. And but I started having my own knitting tool, needles, yarn, books. Were maybe around 12 years old.
Okay.
So, but my body is larger for Asia average. And knitting books came out just one size, fit
You're
most.
talking in Japan, so like
Yes,
you're not that big. You're like 5'5", right? But for Japanese woman, you were on the taller side.
yes, I'm tall side, yes.
So it's interesting because like it used to be that the magazines, like if you look at the vintage magazines in Europe, they would have one size. So in Japan, when you were growing up, it was also one size,
Yes,
most
yes.
basically.
So that didn't fit me well. So I have to adjust the size, the pattern I saw from the book.
When they teach the crafts in school, how detailed is it? Is it like just the basics of knitting and
Yeah, just so basic. It's they teach sewing, knitting, crochet, cooking, that kind of thing. Just very basic things.
Did your mom do any of the handcrafts or like your grandparents?
No, actually not. So I was the only person in my family who knit.
Okay.
But my mom was media fiber artist. So she didn't knit, but we had so much material. There's many material everywhere. So I always play around with my mom.
Well, I was once interviewing Suzanne Bryan. She's a handmaster knitter from the Knitting Guild Association, and she's also a YouTuber. And she told me that she believes in this concept of born knitter, like that some people were just born to knit, Do you think that you are one of those people?
Oh, thank you. So I just liking making something unique and knitting, just one thread, just making fabric. Just I got into knitting and crochet.
I mean, I find that like knitting in or crochet in this respect, it's almost like witchcraft because you take a piece of thread and the
Mhm.
needles, and suddenly like limitless creations. You can make anything that pops into your head, and it's like so empowering.
Yeah, it's very just thread, right? Just making any shape and so interesting.
Right. Well, so you started basically adjusting other people's patterns
Mhm.
around 12, which is like how all designers are born, right? Like we see something that does not fit us and we're like, okay, how can I adjust it? But at what point did you feel that you are a designer?
So at the beginning, I just adding a more stitch, adding more repeat of
Right.
the stitch to make it longer, or adding some new stitch pattern, adding a wider. So I started doing those kind of adjustment. I got the idea how to create garments, but that was more high school age. In high school, I started doing that. But when I moved to uh, Tokyo for college, And I had a chance to go to knitting exhibition and met a knitwear designer there.
Mhm.
And she looked at me because I was wearing something I made.
Right.
And she said, "Oh, you like knitting? Do you want to know how to knit correctly?" Because, I just did everything by myself. It came out one piece, but she saw something.
You saw the potential in you.
So then she said, if you want to know how to knit and design, I can show you how to. So I started meeting her every other week.
Mhm.
And that time I start feeling and start designing. So I'm more 20s.
That's
Uh,
so amazing. Like, I love that there are people in this community like that, that they are willing to share their expertise when they see potential in somebody, and they just,
yes.
this is like the craft that goes from generation to generation. So it's so wonderful when like people in this industry willing to share their knowledge and their expertise.
Yeah, knitting community is the best. The
Well,
best.
then you met your husband and you moved
Mhm.
to the US. And like being an immigrant is not easy. You're coming to a new
Mhm.
country, it's new customs, new language, new everything. Did knitting help you to adjust, to assimilate to living in the US?
Yes, knitting made my life in the US so different because connection and my design spoke more than I spoke. So I started communicating with the people uh, through knitting.
Well, do you remember like some of the first designs that you published here?
Yes, I remember. I started designing bag, not the clothing,
Mhm.
garment, because I didn't know how to. Bag doesn't have any size. Can
Right.
be small or large. I don't have to worry about
Grading.
any. Right.
Yes.
So that bag was I made maybe 10 bags design. So then young company approached me and do you wanna
Design for the company.
design for company and do you wanna do clothing? I said because I don't know about the size option and I can make design for myself, but I don't know about US size.
Right.
Then they say we can help you. We can show what's the difference between each size. So they helped me. So I started moving clothing.
I
So
mean, I find it like it's the fact that there is rivalry here, right? And everybody can publish their own patterns
mhm,
is extremely empowering and extremely helpful.
right.
So everybody feels like they can be a designer. What I also find that there is sort of like a lack of standards, industry standards as to the sizing and everything. So it makes it a little more complicated to learn how to do proper grading and to learn how to write proper pattern.
Well, yes, it's a sizing. It just really makes limit how I wanna make
Right.
because one size I can do anything I want to because just like a painting on the canvas. But to make different size, I have to really think about what's um, stitch patterns I can use for shaping or making more different size, and it was challenging.
Right.
So I just couldn't express what I wanted to design that time.
I mean, I find that like you started doing this. I want to talk about the two mannequins on the back of you and the top you're wearing, because that's like a perfect example of the same pattern that looks completely different.
Hmm?
You started recently adjusting, and tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, this is a called forest weave. I made this design in 2012,
Right.
quite a long time ago, 13 years ago. So this is the actually my really first garment and really no shaping, just rectangular. So that time I made only 3 different sizes. This one was really started, oh, maybe I can do non-shaping garment. So after I started doing that, and so I don't have to worry about size because I make, 3, 4 different sizes.
Right.
And many people can fit well because garment drape, your body makes shape of garment. So it doesn't have to be really fitted or over ease, just drape on people's body well.
Right.
So
And I
don't have
remember like you had this one video where you showed that you were trying on 3 different sizes on yourself and it still fits. It just fits different, but there is still beauty and like nice drape to that. So it does work for a lot of like you can wear size up or size down, like in a lot of different situations with your particular garments.
Yes. So my pattern doesn't say this is for size small, medium, large. I just put finished measurement.
Right.
So people choose which style people wanna wear or
Right.
make. So you wanna do more fitted style, you choose the size more fitted on your body size. If you like more loose fitting, you just need to choose larger measurement than your body size.
So what's the difference between the one that you're wearing and the 2 that are on the mannequin behind you?
Okay, so this one is okay, I can stand. Okay, can you see this one?
Yeah.
So this one is a more normal, I would say, regular length. It's a 20 inches length.
Right.
So then this one is a more cropped. So I wanted to add some weight, so I made long sleeve because it's nice to have more weight to drape. So that's why I made this to a longer sleeve.
Right.
It's a crop size if you see that. So then it's a tunic length.
So it's like almost like a mini dress. Yeah.
Yes. So now my current design, I have 5 different lengths. So this is the 3 of them, but this is the longest, this is the shortest. So people can choose chest size and length. People can make narrower and longer or wider and shorter. So people can make the style.
I'm really find this particular conversation interesting because I designed the poncho and my biggest challenge, it was also like 2 rectangles attached on the shoulder, right? Like the whole thing was about the lace on the fabric. But what I found difficult is how to grade that poncho because somebody who is like 6 foot tall or 5'10", it's gonna be too short. But for somebody who is like 4'8", it's gonna be like a dress. So I had to make it wasn't just about the width, it wasn't just about the side, but like also how do you deal with the length of it?
That's really true. Some people are so slender and so tall, they really don't. Sometimes people don't need much chest,
Right.
width, but just need more length. Or sometimes you need more, arms longer or shorter. Everybody has a different body shape, and so difficult to say this is for large or medium because just
I mean,
different.
it's also like it's hard to figure out what's the small and medium even means, right? Because if you put something that's really fitted and it can be size small, or if you put something that's very loose and it can be size extra large, it doesn't matter like what size you are, it's how it's going to fit you.
Well, so I still remember I started going to shows and I was wearing this design. So smallest size was chest 48 inches, and I usually buy size small or medium at the clothing store.
Right.
So I put, because I like to wearing size 48 inches usually.
Right.
for a garment. So I put a smallest size, 48 inches, said this is size small to medium 12 years ago. Then people came to my booth, said, this is not the small size. And I said, really? And they said, yeah, this one, I can wear this. Then people start to try on, and many people can wear the sample really well. Some people had more less ease or more ease. Just I didn't think about because just I liked was a one style. But some people liked more fitted style.
Right.
And that time I started thinking about, oh, maybe people has a different preference. I even didn't know about that time. So I thought I'm the more base. My thinking was more base.
Right.
Then put a small, medium, large. But I started thinking about okay how people like to wear garment. Some people said, oh, I like this top, but hopefully longer than this. Then I said, oh, I thought everybody likes shorter length because I wear only shorter top. So meeting people gave me idea what they are looking for.
Well, when people think about designers, and especially successful designers, and I definitely put you into that category of successful designers, they think of them on the pedestal. They think that they have it all figured out. It's all easy because they are professionals. They know exactly how to approach the next design. They know how to write that pattern. They don't struggle. Do you ever struggle with anything?
I usually make 3, 4 garment, like prototype before really start making a design because so many mistakes. And I thought it's going to work, but didn't work. I have still now I usually have a 3 complete garment before really start writing pattern.
Well, when you think of a pattern, you sort of put yourself into that corner of no shaping garments. Do you ever wake up and think, like, you know what, I want something really shaped this time? Do you feel like you have to now do only no shaping garments?
Should I really do sometimes? But my rule is I don't add the shaping. So of course I do, hopefully I can put the shaping a little bit. But yes, I want to make no shaping. But people can adjust if people want to, right? Because no shaping, if people want to add the shaping, people can do it. So I just let them do that. But I just want my pattern to be simple enough, people enjoy knitting. So
Well, I
that's
want to ask you a question that you probably didn't see coming. So, because your patterns are simple enough, people can replicate them easily enough without buying the pattern. They can just see the pattern. I mean, not with every pattern, but with some of them. So, for example, I saw a YouTube tutorial in Russian where they go step by step explaining one of your designs of how to knit it without anybody paying for the pattern. Do you see that happen a lot? And are you concerned with piracy and like people just stealing the idea without buying your pattern?
Yeah, I see that issue. Yeah, it's so difficult to stop that issue. I know many designers have this same concern. Yeah, I don't know how to handle that. My goal is people see my design, then people recognize, oh, this is designed by Yumiko Alexander.
Is it difficult to come up with the original concept? Because like every time I see your design, I'm thinking, like when we talk about simplicity of no shaping, none of your things are that simple. Like there is always some twist to that. There is either like different fabrics or different colors or different lengths or different ways of attaching it, different lengths of stitches. Like, and I love that about your designs because it's not boring. It's never boring. But is it difficult to come up with the new concept?
I will keep non-shaping. So I want to play stitch patterns. So it's always, just a painting. So where you put a focal point. I want to go simple shape, but a little something in the design. So I have to find a little something each design. So that's
Okay, like I just want to see how your head works when it comes to that. Do you wake up one day and you're like, okay, I have to do this kind of motif in it? Or do you see something in nature? Do you see something in architecture? Do you see something in stitch dictionaries? Those designs come from?
this design. Oh, it's dark, so dark you cannot see. It's an agave.
Yeah.
So how I got this one idea was one day I was wearing t-shirts and I tied here
Mm-hmm.
to make it fitted. Then I liked the how
That shape.
my head, yes, same game. So that one I got the idea. So
That's so cool. I love that story.
so then yeah, that kind of is every day, just a little bit of something. I look at, oh, I like that. And can I make this to a knitting design? So that is usually happening.
So cool. That's so lovely. I also want to talk to you about your yarn lines. So you have DanDoh yarns.
Mhm.
A little bit about how it started and how it changed over the years.
I was just a designer, and I was happy when I was designing with many different yarns.
Right.
But two things happen at the same time. So one, young companies discontinued the yarn I use for my design.
Right.
So as a designer, that's a very painful. If the yarn we used are not available, very challenging. So that was happened. Also, same times when I went to Japan, I I got so the very unique fiber. And before I was not really pay attention in Japan because I usually cannot use the yarn here in the US.
Right.
But the yarn I saw in Japan, I just couldn't ignore. It was so beautiful. I purchased that and made one of my design originally used with alpaca.
Mm.
But- So that was cotton. Actually, I purchased cotton yarn in Japan. I used the cotton yarn for the design I made with alpaca. So there's a same design I made cotton for my personal use.
Right.
And I really liked the finished garment with cotton. So those two things. So this company discontinued yarn, and I found the fiber I like in Japan. So those two things made me think, oh, do I wanna start carrying my own fiber?
And
Because I
I can
like
totally see that because a lot of designers are very frustrated with the fact that not only there are discontinued yarns, but there are discontinued colors, and it's like
very,
you have no control over like what's going to be in the
very
store the next year. And because the consumers are always looking for the next best thing and the next best color, the companies actually do that quite a lot when they discontinue colors or discontinue yarns.
why, yeah, that's it. No, I know that's happened. But at least I know how long I want to carry. If I carry my own fiber, so I have a control for those, uh, things.
Right.
Sometimes manufacturers stop making, so I don't have the control for that. But at least
Right.
I
Well,
can.
I mean, have there been any surprises in that part of your career? Like when you thought that you're gonna, like you found this perfect solution, right? You're gonna do your own yarns, whatever base you feel like, whatever colors you feel like. Was it like a smooth sailing from start to finish, or was
No, actually, no, it was not because first I had to find the manufacturer in Japan, and I called them. When I researched, I found a few manufacturers. I called them, and I have to ask, can you make this kind of a yarn? And can you export to America? That's two things was a challenge. And at the beginning, I didn't know how to import things either. It was a lot of learning things. And and I got a 1 kilogram corn nut skein. When I import, I wound.
rescanned it?
That took like a lot of time. So
Does that explain your fine physique? Like, was that your workout method?
So the all weekend, my house was just winding party, with my husband. He was doing, I was putting a label. And so that's what I started. So I didn't have enough yarn for wholesale. I was not even thinking about, I just wanted have my own line
Right.
to go to shows, not even doing a lot of big things. I really like to go to show that time. So I like the meeting people and talking. So just I want to have a yarn in my booth. That's the only I was thinking that time.
Right.
But
So how did it change in the following years? Like since from the time you started with the yarn to what it is now?
I start asking manufacturer to do, can you make 50-gram skein? Can you put a label around? Because I did everything. So every maybe 3 months, 6 months started changing. Oh, can you do this way or that way? So because some of a local shop asked me if I can do wholesale.
Right.
So that started.
Well, it sounds to me that you are this like fierce Japanese warrior that nothing can stop you because you see something you want and you learn as you go and you figure it out and you make it work somehow.
Yes.
Like what's your vision for your business in the future? Like, do you have like a business plan?
At this, I just came here by flow. What I saw, who I met, what we talked. So at this point, I just wanna continue making a design, and people feel beautiful after they put on the garment. That is my goal.
Well, I want to ask you another thing, and I don't even know if you ever thought about it, but you are notorious for using very unique pieces of jewelry with your knitting designs. And I've heard you said something like the dress can be simple, and all you need is a little piece of knitwear item and jewelry. And you go to shows to search for those like unique jewelry pieces. Have you ever thought of making your own jewelry line?
Actually, I thought about, but so right now knitting, my life is, every minute I think about just knitting. I don't have any, space to think about other design, but I really like jewelry.
When it comes to marketing your stuff, you use Instagram a lot to popularize your designs and like share your designs. How did that go? Like, is it always easy to be on Instagram and to film yourself and to be
No,
the face of the
if you see at my beginning of a post on Instagram, I would just took a picture of myself, just one shot. That's it. So, but I know that I wanted to show how my garment move
Right.
because I like a light coming under my garment, just to make it more lighter. It's just a picture doesn't show that
Right.
how material looks like. So I start. It was a big jump for me. I was. It was a big jump. I decide, okay, I will do every time I wore my garment. I just video and I do it.
Well, you have twin boys. What do they think about their mom? Like, are they super proud of everything you achieve? Are they thinking it's just like this silly thing mom does on Instagram?
Actually, they help me a lot. At the first time, I didn't know how to pick music goes with my post. They pick the music for me, and they are very supported, and they are very happy.
Oh, I mean, like kids come very helpful when it comes to us moms trying to figure technology out.
Yes, they
My,
are so
my
happy
my
to do.
youngest son was the one who taught me how to edit videos and how to do like all the things I do on YouTube. And when I asked him how, he was like 14 at the time when I started, and he was showing me how to do the editing of all the videos. And I said, well, but how do you know it? And he said, oh, it's very intuitive. And I was like, not to me.
Yeah, they know it how to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you ever think about making some knitted items for the men in your life?
One point I thought about, like 10 years ago, I was thinking about, I was still using wool.
Right.
But I remember some people made a comment, my design is more feminine side. If I made a men's design, so American people like more manly.
Rugged.
So, yeah, so I decided not to do.
How busy are you? Like, how much of your day is spent on knitting, designing, all doing all the yarn things and filming videos? Do you get time to actually sit and knit in peace?
So I'm pretty doing just knitting every day. I wake up, I do a little bit exercise at home,
Mhm.
and I start eating breakfast, then I start knitting at the same time. So then lunchtime comes, I have a lunch, but I'm still knitting, or I just, my life is just knitting.
Well, how many hours a day would you say you knit?
So I usually sleep 7 hours, then 24, 15 hours I'm doing something for knit, related to knitting. Sometimes computer,
Right.
but pretty 7 days a week.
Do you dream about knitting? When you dream, do you see dreams about knitting?
If I start thinking, I couldn't go sleep. I try not to think much, and I don't have a dream for knitting.
Yeah. You mentioned that like your sons are very supportive. Your husband was the first one who believed in you and helped you to start the company, I've heard, right?
Yes, and yes, I used to work full-time job outside, but I started staying home because we had kids,
Right.
and we decided, so I'm going to be home as mom.
Right.
So once kids came to kindergarten, so they started going to full-time.
Right.
Uh, so I was supposed to go back to full-time job, but I wanted to stay home. And once kids come home 2 o'clock, right?
Right.
So I cannot just get full-time job. So I said, okay, I want to do a knitting business because I can be home and I can do something else. Mom and working. So he said, sure. So he gave me he supported me to start a business. So, but one point he said, you keep doing your business because now I can really go back to
Go.
work outside.
Right.
So she said, if I wanna, because my business was just that time it was more, satisfied what I'm doing.
Right.
But he said, if you wanna continue your business, so you need to start really thinking about how my business grow.
Right.
So he gave me some goal to think about. So then I really started thinking about how I can do this for more business like.
Do you ever have regrets about not going back to full-time job and not having to think about your next design and how you're gonna market the yarn and how you're gonna get the yarn manufactured and all of these things?
No, not at all. Because just my life with knitting and just I got so much connection to people.
Right.
And before people see me, or Asian, right? Asian, and people don't remember people didn't know my name.
Right.
People know somebody's husband, somebody's mom, but they didn't know about my name. But once I start knitting, people start calling my name. That made me so happy, now.
I hear you because it's very important, especially for women. Like once we become moms and we stay home, you almost lose that sense of identity that you are something more than just a mom or a wife or,
Yeah.
and it does allow you to thrive and find yourself again and find your creative self. My first experience with that was when I went to one of the yarn festivals and somebody asked me, my husband was with me, and somebody asked me, is that Mr. Fiberchats? And that was the funniest moment ever. Does your husband ever go with you to festivals, and is he impressed by what you achieved?
Exactly, I had the same kind of experience. Yes.
The sweet
So,
moment, I must confess,
yeah, especially if we move to, move to here from overseas, we don't have a lot of, we have a zero, no friends to start. Nobody know about us. You had maybe same experience.
Yeah.
You really start difficult connecting people.
And it's also like the fact that you coming as a foreigner, and I feel like it's not just when you arrive first here, but there is always a part of us that like feeling of sitting between the chairs when you're not quite 100% American in the what people think about being an American, but then you also not quite Japanese already, so you in this like in between space where you trying to find where you belong and who are your people. So it's I feel like knitting and knitting world and knitting community is so very welcoming and so inviting, and it does make feel like home.
It's just, we like same things. We have a time to talk about for, you know, just we we start talking knitting, but we start talking more personal things. So we really start becoming friends as well. So it's really nice.
Let me ask you about like your process. So you said you deal with knitting like 15 hours a day.
Yeah, I do.
Are you a one project girl? Like do you get design idea and you're working on it until you finalize it, or do you have like 15 different projects lying around and waiting for you?
One at a time.
Yeah.
One at a time, because I really need to focus on one things. And so yeah, just I can knit many different projects and mindless knitting, because already I have a pattern, I didn't want samples, I can do that at the same time. but for designing, just one at a time.
I notice for myself, like lots of times when I need something very either important to me or very complicated, it can be either or. I'm so much into that project that when I finish it, I have almost like a physical withdrawal. Like I don't know what to do with myself. I can't think of the next thing because my mind is still in that project. Do you do that as well? Like when you design something and it becomes like your child, basically, you invest so much of yourself into that. Is it hard to move to the next thing? Do you get like creative blocks ever?
Yes, that's really true. So it's then a little bit change, then get more interest. Oh, this one's going to happen. Then just, yes, yeah, just like we are like a child when we are designing. I can see that.
Is there like ever time when you don't need, like what must be happening in your life that you're not gonna need that day?
So I have a 1 month vacation in December and I don't need.
At all?
I didn't for my, I call a crafty vacation. I started doing that after pandemic.
Mhm.
So because I couldn't travel anymore, so that I had enough design this year. Okay, December, I can do something else.
So
So
what did you do for a whole month not knitting?
I did a sewing and beading, everything about handworking because I like to making something. So I did for 1 month, December. That's I called collective vacation for first year. But I started missing knitting
Yeah.
at the end.
Well, okay.
So,
So what's the plan for this December? What crafts are you gonna try this December?
now so I started doing a whole month off for first 2 years. Then came to now 2 weeks because 1 month was too much.
Right.
I usually collect some materials through year, like January to November when I go to any crafty show or anything. I purchase a kit
Okay.
or something. Then I don't touch that until December.
So do you already have the project ready for December for this year?
I do.
A secret?
I like to making all that like a necklace, and I like doing kumihimo.
Mhm.
So kumihimo can make many. So this one is also kumihimo, this bracelet. So I make those kind of things for December.
Oh, that's so cool. Are you gonna share it on your Instagram, the process of
Yes, I do. Yes, I
I
will do that.
I
Yes.
can't wait to see that. It's really cool, actually. I like that idea. I don't know if I'm ready to take a month's vacation from knitting, but I like the concept of it.
Yeah, actually, because we like making, right? So, but when we are doing designing, we cannot use our brain to something else. It's
Right.
really difficult to have the only 1 day or 2 days because once you start making something, even beading, you want to do more. Once you do something, oh, how if I use different material or you start not thinking about. So you want to have more block time to use those other crafty things, I think. So I have now 2 weeks about my crafty vacation.
Well, do you feel like these months of December, when you take off and you do something else, do you feel like it resets your brain to like different ideas and that it inspires you for the next year?
Actually, sometimes happen. No, I just use those 2 weeks or 1 month to do something I really wanted to do past 12 months. So, but while I'm doing something, I get the idea for it. I get some inspiration.
Right. I have a friend of mine, Dr. Srini Pillay, and he wrote a book about power of unconscious mind. It's called Dabble, Doodle. Tinkle Trial. Like I'll put the book in the description of this video so you guys can check it out. And basically, like his idea is that your mind need that periods of rest from what you do to be creative, because otherwise you constantly in the routine of this running like a rat, in the wheel. And so when you let your mind rest, that's when the most creative ideas are formed. So I think you're onto something. I might want to try this December to just take some few weeks off and try something else.
Yes, that's very fun.
I
Yes.
think you just inspired me to try something new.
So at the beginning, first year I made a list what I wanna do this month. Then I started closing what I did. So then I kept my want to do list. So, but I know how many I can do before I wanted to 10 of them. But of course, I cannot do 10 of them. So I started making I know what I want to do more. So it's
Well,
really,
that list is going to be very helpful for next year, since this December is already busy.
right.
You can do it next year. I want to thank you so much for being my guest today. I really enjoyed our chat. It was really lovely to get know you a little bit better, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next festival somewhere.
Thank you for having me. It was nice to talking to you today.
Thank you.